Welcome back to the Charlotte Area Show. My name is Julie Coffey and I serve the amazing people of the Charlotte area. You may have noticed that I am a little more casual today. I have my trusty painting clothes on and I'm getting ready to tackle some projects. So today we're talking all about the power of paint and how it can make a huge impact in the home selling process for a very small investment. I will never forget the first time I stepped into the master bedroom at our house on Lake Norman. While the rest of the house was pretty neutral, everything changed in that boudoir. The ceiling was some kind of mustard-colored plaster, and the walls were this deep tomato red, which were probably really cool in the 80s. But even though we had this stunning view of the water, I felt like I had stepped into a McDonald's hamburger. Not even kidding. So while we want our homes to feel like us, oftentimes we tailor them to suit our own tastes. Things like cozy furniture, bright textured rugs, wall art, and the right lighting fixtures can really reflect a style and personality. And sometimes we go a little risky and do accent walls, or we paint our children's rooms pink and red and blue, or we add a little DIY wallpaper. And while all of these can be amazing ways to customize spaces, when it comes to preparing your home for resale, these colorful wall colors can really date your property and start to box you in if they're done incorrectly. If you've never tried selling a home with bright ketchup or mustard walls, then you probably don't know the power a simple color change can make when trying to sell your home as quickly as possible. The good news is that a coat of paint can really freshen up a space and give it a more neutral look that will appeal to a broader market. So here are my top 4 tips for painting a home before putting it on the market. First things first, number 1, consider your front door. It's a smaller project and it might offer you a little more creativity if you're feeling daunted by a full paint job of a room at this point. It can also allow you to express your inner wild child with a bolder color choice that really pop from the curbside. You've probably seen black or gray or white doors, but surprisingly, a rich navy blue or a vibrant red, or even sometimes a bright yellow, are good color choices that can really add some pizzazz to your home's overall appeal. Just be sure to double check any HOA or architectural committee restrictions before you make any changes. And don't forget, you can even coordinate your shutters if that's your style, but just remember to keep those a little more moderate and in line as they require more effort to change later on. Number 2, when it comes to interior walls, the trend here is to keep everything flowing and really maximize the space with neutral color. There's a reason why we joke about builder beige. The idea is to create a blank canvas to help people envision themselves living in the home. And while pops of color may be fine, overall, you'll want a bright and airy effect to balance the light throughout your home. You might also want to think about that paint color like flooring. We want it to be as uniform throughout the home. The more transitions like colors or textures that you have in the space, the smaller and the choppier is the visual effect. So the color that you use in your common living areas such as hallways, kitchens, dining room, the living room, try to keep those remaining consistent, or at least in the same color family. And if you just have to express a little flair, personalize your personal spaces, such as your bedrooms. If secondary bedrooms aren't used, keep those to neutrals for now. Exceptions to this are your smaller, tighter spaces like half bathrooms without any natural light, or offices which might benefit from a brighter paint choice that helps bounce the light around. Another pro tip, when in doubt, make a small space everything the same color, such as walls, trims, ceilings, everything. By keeping everything the same, it stops the eye from pausing. Give it a once over in a light color and the space will feel less constrained. My number 3 tip, now that we know that we're looking for, let's talk color. So the biggest trends right now are any and all whites, soft grays, and taupe. While these might seem like not very exciting choices, they are all incredibly popular, and that's probably because they are so versatile and they suit a variety of house styles, from modern to transitional to traditional. Personally, my go-to color choices are Sherwin-Williams Accessible Beige for homes with warm tones, or Sherwin-Williams Agreeable Gray for cool or neutral toned homes. You may have heard me use those terms before, warm or cool. And if you're not sure what I mean, think of it in terms of jewelry. So silver has a very cool or silvery tone to it, while gold is warm. Fun fact, platinum is actually a true neutral because it can be either warm or cool. So if you aren't sure what tone that your home has currently, take a look at your hardware. If you have brass or copper, it's probably warm. Brushed nickel or chrome, it's probably a cool tone. And oil rubbed or black hardware can go either way because it's a true neutral. And finally, it's also important to remember that all textures and sheens are not created equal. Usually when you go to your favorite home improvement store, you're able to choose the finish. In fact, they're going to give you that stare and ask you, what sheen do you want? Well, don't panic. Keep in mind the location and the functionality of the room that you're painting. The higher the gloss, the more durable and shiny the finish. Since kitchens and bathrooms and hallways are such a busy part of the home and often need a good scrubbing, you might want to go with a slightly higher gloss finish, which is definitely more durable. I recommend eggshell as a sheen for those high traffic walls, but depending on the area, you might go higher. Just remember that the shinier the finish, the more like woodwork or dated it will end up looking. Trim, like the molding around your doors, your floorboards, or crown molding, should always be a higher reflective quality. In the past, most painters would recommend a semi-gloss, but again, that is really starting to downturn in terms of trendiness. So these days, I recommend a satin finish for woodwork, semi-gloss for a front door, or exterior trim, but satin for the interior. And finally, a flat finish paint will hide the most sins of damaged walls. So if you've got walls that might be a little sketchy, might need a little repair, and you're not really up for it, a flat finish paint will definitely work for you. But keep in mind, it's not very durable or scrubbable. And in fact, even if you use those little Mr. Clean white bars on it, you might accidentally remove some of the finish and have to do some touch-up paint. So save it for rooms that don't get a lot of use or low wear and tear, and definitely use it for your ceilings because no one should be touching that. So in conclusion, I've seen it happen before. A beautiful home goes on the market, but the bright paint colors turn off prospective buyers. Having an experienced realtor is key because we can make recommendations on how to update your home's colors for a more natural look without making a huge investment in money or time. Color selection can definitely be tricky, and luckily my background in art and interior design makes me uniquely qualified to help you understand color theory because let's face it, not all grays are created equal. If you're considering a little home refresh, give me a call or a text at 980-253-3633. We can chat or meet virtually online to determine the best choice to maximize your effort without minimizing style or home appeal. And finally, if you're a resident of the Charlotte area, I want to let you know that I have a lot of resources and recommendations to help you finish up those pesky home improvement projects. Feel free to reach out to me here or on Facebook or Instagram at Charlotte Area Living. I also have a website at charlottearealiving.com. My latest blog post has more advanced tips and information about painting your pad in the lifestyle section, so check it out. As always, feel free to post any questions, comments, or concerns in the chat box. I do always go back and check my videos afterwards in order to answer the questions in the comments section. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next episode, but until then, happy painting!